All right, we have a problem. So it has been, let's see, maybe 6 hours since the maintenance team was up here today to make repairs to the sink and the tap and the bathroom as required by inspectional services, who showed up here Friday morning, 3 days ago at my request, to investigate bad conditions. One of the bad conditions that I reported was leaking water under the sink right here. I have pulled out every single item that I've had stored under the sink, except for a few random bottles that I don't need to move really because they're not taking up any space. And everything else that was under the sink is over there. Maintenance was up here for 3 hours today, and there's still water leaking underneath the sink. I don't even understand what's going on. I mean, there's something wrong with maybe the pipes in the wall. Where is this water coming from? And at the same time, the water that was perfectly fine when maintenance was here has now become extremely oily, thick, and greasy, as if somebody is dumping baby oil in the water. That's exactly what it feels like. It also has a much lighter weight to it. So when somebody is dumping something into water, the water that you collect in a container is no longer water. It is water plus something else. That extra chemical or whatever substance is being pumped into this water changes the molecular weight of the water and of the liquid that comes out of this tap. The result of that is that this tub of water is actually really light compared to how heavy it normally is if I fill it up with water. So it's not water. I mean, there's oil in here, and oil is much lighter than water. It doesn't have the same molecular weight. So you know you're dealing with a different substance. This is not just water. This is like maybe 60% water, 30% oil. Oh, and now the water is going all hot, and now it's going all cold. I haven't touched that knob. Why is the water suddenly going from hot to cold? Well, I know why. Because the Greenville Group is hiring and has been hiring a career criminal who claims to be a structural engineer named Jasmine Irizarry. Irizarry is constantly behind this wall right here, which is the vacant premises of her former unit. Irizarry claims to be a structural engineer. Structural engineers can do things like tamper with pipes and plumbing. They can do other things like tampering with heating systems. I've been informed by Mr. Oleg Aleseyev, the property manager, that Irizarry is a talented cyber criminal who, according to her handler, Mr. Aleseyev, can hack into anything. So not only is Irizarry a structural threat, she's also an electronic threat. And right now, this water is not water. It is oil and water. Nothing is rinsing off. I have all these washcloths right here that I've been trying to rinse off for the last hour now. They're not rinsing out. They're all greasy and oily. And the soap doesn't rinse off. I've reported this many times recently. There's some kind of oily, greasy, slimy substance in this water that causes the water to not act like water. It doesn't rinse off soap and other substances. Pure water rinses off soap pretty quickly. When you've got oil in the water or some kind of grease, the soap doesn't rinse out. It literally just starts to make a slimy mess. So all of these washcloths that I've been trying to rinse out for the last hour now are not rinsing out. And at the same time, there's still a ton of water accumulating under this sink, even though maintenance actually wiped down the entire underneath part of the sink before they left today. So I'm keeping the water running. So I'm trying to figure out where the water leak is coming from. There's all this water under here. All right. Do you see? It's like completely wet. Let me get. Okay. So this is a dry cloth. Okay. All right. That's how much water is collecting under here. This was a dry cloth 2 seconds ago. Now check out how much water. Do you see all that? There is water leaking massively underneath the sink right here. And they just replaced the faucet. Everything should be perfect. Where is all of this water? Do you see all this water coming out of this cloth that was dry a minute ago? And I'm squeezing it out. And I'm going to just show you how much water is literally collecting. It's always this back corner right here underneath the shower. All right, do you see all this water? Yeah, that should not be happening. So, you know what? They haven't finished the work. I mean, the guy was really nice and he replaced the faucet, but there's still a problem. And again, the water is all slimy, oily. It literally feels like somebody's dumping baby oil in there, which, knowing the psychopath Irizarry and her psychotic need to contaminate the water to this tap, as she has been doing since 2019, when several hours worth of plumbing work was done against the pipes to this tap into my bathroom on a Sunday afternoon from the inside of the bathroom that's located behind this wall, where at the time Irizarry, the psychopath and quote structural engineer, who was also a talented cyber criminal according to Mr. Eliseyev, she was engaging in plumbing work and officially residing in the bathroom of 78 in 2019, which was now, what, 5 years ago? This has been going on for 5 years. I've lived in this unit for 13 years, and for the first 8 years that I lived here, between 2011 and 2019, the water from this tap was perfectly safe to use. It was like so pure and clean. Not once did ever make a complaint about the water to this tap. And then Irizarry, the psychopath, who still accesses the vacant premises of her former bathroom, smells like she's in there right now. I always know that she's in there by the smell that suddenly starts coming through this wall. She is literally a walking, foul-smelling piece of shit. I can smell her. I have an extremely keen sense of smell. It's like one of my ancestors was a canine or something. I can just smell people, literally smell people. I can smell her. She's smoking something right now, and it's coming from behind this wall. It's not coming from the hallway. I was just out in the hallway like 5 minutes ago. So again, we have a water leak under the sink, and because the washcloth that I just pulled out was dry when I started sopping up the water with it, and now it is... You see all this water that's dripping out of this washcloth? And maintenance just replaced the faucet 6 hours ago, and now already there's a giant puddle of water under here. I really... Check this out. See all this water? How the hell did this water get under here? So I'm going to actually like wipe it up now and not just use it for demonstration purposes. Where is this water coming from? Except for the fact that it's oily and slimy. It was not oily and slimy 6 hours ago when maintenance was here. Let's just get that clear. Irizarry, the psychopath who claims to be a structural engineer, is using some type of a valve system that was installed evidently against the pipes to this kitchen sink into my bathroom in June of 2019, which was 5 years ago, once again, on a Sunday afternoon. And when I contacted Greenville after that, because my water suddenly started to smell foul and to make me sick, and I said, look, somebody was doing like all kinds of plumbing work against the pipes to my kitchen tap and to my bathroom on a Sunday afternoon. What was going on? They said, we have no knowledge of any work being done in the bathroom of 78 or against your pipes, and we don't work on Sundays. So that was maybe Irizarry, the psychopath, taking it upon herself to demonstrate her knowledge of structural engineering work by installing a valve system of some sort to the pipes to this unit. I mean, that's not a stretch, especially if the Greenville group is literally sponsoring her or using her services for their own nefarious purposes. That's becoming very evident. They refuse to get rid of her, even though she's a psychotic, obsessive stalker and can't stop harassing people, at least from what I've been told and from what I've experienced. What the hell is going on? That's weird. The phone call's not going through. How interesting.
Monday through Friday.
Ah, there we go.
Our office is currently closed. If this is an emergency, please
Volume.
press 1. Otherwise, press 2 to leave a voicemail.
That was my bad.
After the tone, please leave a detailed message with your name and number so we may get back to you when we return.
Hi there. It's right around 7:30 p.m. on Monday, July 15th, 2024. I'm calling from Unit 89 because one of your maintenance workers was up here earlier today to fix some of the code violations that Inspectional Services has cited against the Greenville group regarding bad conditions in Unit 89 in my unit. And one of the problems is that the taps on my sink continue to leak. And even though he did a good job of installing a new faucet, there is still water that is literally dripping underneath the cabinet of my kitchen sink, and that water is leaking from somewhere that I can't see or figure out. So there is a problem with the plumbing of my kitchen sink right now, even though maintenance just fixed the faucet earlier today. I don't know where the water is coming from. There is literally a puddle of water accumulating underneath my kitchen sink, even though maintenance just replaced the tap at around 1:30 p.m. today. I will be following up with a written notification. And as you know, there is a re-inspection scheduled from Inspectional Services regarding the code violations and bad conditions in my unit. So if you guys don't fix the leaking sink, the leaking plumbing underneath my sink before then that's going to be another code violation. If you have any questions, you know my phone number. Once again, I am calling from Unit 89 to report that there is a significant plumbing leak continuing to occur underneath my kitchen sink at this time that is causing a pool of water underneath the sink, and it is damaging the wooden cabinet and it is damaging the floor around the base of the sink. At the same time, the water that is coming out of my kitchen tap has started to develop an extremely oily, slimy, slick residue that was not occurring a few hours ago when maintenance was up here. This slick, oily residue is preventing me from being able to use the water from my kitchen tap for rinsing or for washing anything or for drinking. And I keep having to go down the hall to the common bathroom and use the water from the sink in the common bathroom because that water is not slimy or oily. As you know, you guys are retaining and using the services of a career criminal and a psychopath named Jasmine Irizarry, and Irizarry has been engaging in tampering of my tap water from the bathroom of 78 since 2019, which is now 5 years. Irizarry claims to be a structural engineer, and it is not beyond the realm of what is physically possible to imagine that a psychopath who is also a structural engineer and claims to be a cyber criminal is able to contaminate and access the plumbing system to a unit that is right next to hers. Again, if you have any questions, you know my phone number. I am recording this voicemail for legal purposes, and right now I am unable to use the tap water from my kitchen sink for any kind of rinsing or food preparation or drinking because Irizarry, your resident psychopath and career harasser, has been once again dumping some kind of oily residue into the water to this unit, presumably using a valve system that she installed or that Greenville helped her to install against the pipes to my bathroom and my kitchen sink in June of 2019 when somebody in the bathroom of 78 engaged in 3.5 hours worth of work on a Sunday afternoon that Greenville claimed they did not have any knowledge of. Thank you.